All right, then. Thank you very much. Damn it.
That's the third call you've made in the last hour. I'm sure you're familiar with the old patience is a virtue thing. Why don't you at least give someone the opportunity to leave a message before making your next call?
I've told you repeatedly, Mother, the new project I'm working on is very important to me. This could just be the opportunity that I've been waiting for.
I thought you said it was just extra work on a low-budget film. Exactly what kind of opportunity is that?
Many stars have been discovered doing extra work, Mother. God, do I need a drink.
Is that so? And can you name any of these so-called stars? Drinking again, Bernice? I thought you said you'd quit.
Oh, please, Mother. And you know good and well that I changed my name to Brandi Billings for my career.
Career? What career? I know, I'm sorry. I certainly don't want to go through that again. It's just that I worry about you, Bernie. Forgive me, but I worry that you're wasting your precious time chasing this Hollywood dream of yours. How long has it been now anyway? And what in the world was wrong with the name I gave you? Bernice is a perfectly lovely name.
Why, Mother, must you insist on dictating what you think I should do with my life? You are aware that eventually a day will come when you will have to admit that I'm a grown woman, capable of making my own decisions. So what if I made a few poor choices? Can you tell me who has been so perfect in their life as to not have made any mistakes? He who has not sinned may cast the first stone, right? Life, to use your expression, Mother, is not always a bowl of cherries.
For the life of me, my dear, sometimes I don't understand you. Why does everything have to be so melodramatic with you? I mean, I just don't understand.
I'm not being melodramatic. I'm simply stating that I've made some mistakes, and I'll probably make many more.
For some reason, unbeknownst to me, you have never been able to see things in a positive light. Oh, I thought you would eventually arise from this self-imposed doom, but you never quite grasped it, did you? I mean, I know that you're familiar with the old adage, the optimist sees a glass of water as being half full, while the pessimist sees it as being half empty. I feel so responsible here. You should look forward to the future with excitement and enthusiasm. Your first thoughts of each and every day should be of how grand life is and how fortunate you are to be alive.
Well, there you go again, Mother. If you really want to know the truth of the matter, my first thoughts every day are, oh shit, I'm still here. And I've seen the future, Mother. It's dark. It's death.
I'm certainly grateful for your being here today. I think having to face this without you would have just been too difficult for me. Perhaps your being here will be good for you too. I mean, hearing about your brother might help you.
I'm not so sure about that, Mother. It makes me so angry even thinking about that war and those damned backward people, much less to have to remember that my brother was murdered there. Why did Roger have to go there anyway? He was so young. You know, he called me once. Promised to take me to the movies when he came home. But he never came home, did he? Give me one good reason why Roger had to go there and die in that shithole. One good reason. I only came along because you insisted.
Roger did love the movies. He lived for the war pictures. Maybe all those movies we exposed him to as a young boy contributed to his death. Too many war movies where the hero always died. Maybe that's one of the reasons he died over there. Dear God. Maybe in some way I'm responsible for my own son's death. Was it my fault, son? Was it our fault in the way we raised you to believe in a good cause? To believe in war?
Yes, I remember he did have a little army set he used to play with on the living room floor. I thought he was going to kill me once for stepping on one of his stupid little cannons.
You know, I think he wore that cowboy outfit until he was almost 12. It's only 5 years before he became a Marine. That was the same year Santa brought him his first drum set. I wish he had stayed with music. Roger, why did you have to die so young? I wish to God I'd done something, anything to save you. But I just stood there and watched my young son transform himself into a man. A man who believed in a just cause, who believed in war. Was it my fault, son? Dear God, was it my fault?
Hey, Dad.
Hi, Bernice. Has he arrived yet?
Not yet. Would you care for a drink, Dad?
How about a gin and tonic with a twist? I think I may have to prepare myself for all this.
Well, I see some things haven't changed. Still need the old crutch to make it through the day, Roger?
Jenny, please don't start with that nonsense. I mean, not today of all days.
You're right, I'm sorry. I'm just so edgy about this meeting. You know, I've been so terribly nervous ever since he called. I think it's going to be like losing Roger all over again.
Did he mention why he wanted to speak with us? I mean, doesn't he realize it'll just dredge up a lot of bad memories? Who does he think he is to do this to us?
He was there when Roger was killed, and I don't see anybody else knocking down our door trying to tell us what happened. He was there. He knows. You know, I can tell you every single detail about how my son came into this world. I don't know a thing about how he died. That's why I ask him here. A mother needs to know her son's last thoughts, his feelings, his fears. Oh, you wouldn't understand.
You don't think a father could have any conceptions of loss?
Oh, what time did you say he'd arrive, Mom? It's after 4 now.
Said he'd be here about 4:30. Just be patient.
To tell you the truth, I never did understand why Roger had to go over there in the first place. What was it you said, Dad? Wasn't it for freedom or something like that? Tell me, Dad, where's the freedom in that godforsaken hellhole?
He was a man, and he made a man's decision to answer his country's call.
He was not a man. He was only 17 years old and just a boy. And you, his own father, supported his decision. He never would have gone to that war if only you discouraged him a little bit.
I do not recall you ever trying to stop him.
Oh, he wouldn't have listened to me. I was just his mother. I wasn't a big war hero like you were.
Don't you dare try and blame me for his death. He was there because he was determined to do what was right.
What was right? What was right? Oh, for God's sake, Roger, how could a mere child know how to do what's right? He was there because he felt some sort of duty, an obligation to serve God and country, because you had, and your father had, and his father before him, and what did it get him? What did it get us? He was murdered in a terrible place. For what? He died a horrible death, and who knows what kind of monster killed him. He was only 17. He was my boy, my baby boy.
He was my baby boy, too. He was my only son, damn it. It was his decision. I refuse to accept responsibility for his death. I didn't want him to go. I just couldn't tell him what I was really feeling. I wanted to shout out at the top of my lungs for him not to go to stay home. But he felt it was his turn to be a patriot and to serve his country. I didn't want my boy to go. He was supposed to come back. I just wish to God you hadn't asked me to sign those papers. I would do it all over in a second. I would die for him. If only I had signed those damn papers. You were the one who insisted that I signed them. You insisted.
Don't you dare try and turn this around on me. It was you and all that macho crap about God, country, and honor, and it being his turn. And his time to serve. Well, I will tell you one thing. There is no God in heaven when he would allow this to happen to a young boy.
All right, that's enough, you two. He'll be here any minute. Could we please all just calm down? Look, you both have to accept the fact that it was not your fault. He made the decision to go to Iraq, not you two. It was nobody's fault. Mom, him, not Mom.
Yes, he did, but I should have said no. I could have stopped him.
No, Dad, you couldn't have stopped him. Because Roger had made up his mind about going. He wanted to serve his country, to carry the flag, as you had. And no one could have stopped you once you've made up your mind to do something. Didn't your mother also sign for you to enlist in the Navy when you were only 14? I remember when Roger told me that he was going to Iraq, and that he might not come back. That it was his turn to be a man. Look, it was his decision, not yours, so stop blaming each other.
He was a lot like you, Roger. He was so stubborn. You used to call him hard-headed, remember?
That's right, Mom. No one could have stopped him from going. So you and Dad have got to let this thing between you go. You have to stop torturing yourselves and forgive each other. It was nobody's fault. It's a war, and wars kill people. You see what you've done here? You see the pain and misery you've caused. You and all your macho bullshit. Damn you, Roger! Why did you have to go there? Why did you have to go there and die?
Roger was always so industrious. When he was just a young boy, I knew that if ever I wanted to find him, that all I would have to do was to check around the oceanfront shops for his shining blonde hair. He was always there working for someone, sweeping or renting bikes, even at that young age. Roger, why did you have to die so young? Well, Brandi, how about you? How are you doing?
I'm fine, Dad.
No, I mean, how are you doing? Really, tell me.
I don't know, Dad. Things are okay, I guess. I never really gave this much thought. It scares me. Death and dying scare me. I mean, people die. My own brother died. It seemed like one minute he was there and the next minute he was gone.
Honey, I know this has been difficult on all of us. I felt like you never really got over losing your brother, but things will be all right now, you'll see. Maybe the lieutenant's visit will do you some good.
Maybe this will be good for all of us. Why don't you come in? It's nice to meet you. I'm Roger Sr. This is Roger's mother, Virginia. And this is his sister, Bernice.
My pleasure indeed.
You can call me Brandi. You were Roger's lieutenant, right?
Yes, I was also his platoon commander.
Roger mentioned you often. He liked you.
Did you know that I'm also a veteran?
Oh, here we go again.
No, I did not realize that, sir. What service?
Navy. I was a Navy officer. I retired in 1984.
It is an honor, sir. My father was also a naval officer who served in Vietnam. I want to thank you, sir, for all that you have done for our country.
Well, thank you, son. You're a fine young man. And I also appreciate what you boys are doing in Iraq. You know, I was hoping that Roger would eventually go to the Naval Academy, but he couldn't wait, and well, he chose to enlist in the Marine Corps instead. So tell me, did he make a good Marine?
Yes, sir. He was one tough Marine. But at first I wasn't so sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where are our manners? Would you care for something to drink?
Oh, I'm sorry. What will you have?
Maybe just a glass of water for me. Thank you.
Dad?
Yes, please.
Please, have a seat.
I want to thank you for agreeing to meet with me. I guess I am a little old-fashioned in the sense that I believe all platoon commanders should personally pay the respects to the families. I only wish I had the courage to do it sooner.
Did Roger have any close friends, anybody that cared about him? Please tell me there was someone with him when he died, that he didn't die alone.
Sergeant Steve O'Hara's with him. Steve was also Roger's squad leader. They did everything together, and I never saw one without the other at his side. They looked out for each other, and they died together doing so. I remember when Roger first joined the platoon. He was standing in front of me reporting for duty. He had that all too familiar horrified expression on his face that one only Marines have when they first realize they could be killed. I told him to stick to his squad leader's side, to do everything that he does, to stay alert, and to try and stay alive. If the new guys can manage to stay alive for a while, then I would assign them a regular duty. See, that's how it was with the new men. Nobody wants to put a name to a face until someone has been around for a while. It's a frightening experience, but the first thing a man has to learn is survival, how to stay alive. From that very first day, Steve and Roger were like brothers.
Did you know that Roger was only 17 when he enlisted? A 17-year-old should be a Boy Scout, not a Marine. He couldn't kill anything. He didn't even have the heart to eat animals. He used to say, "Animals are my friends and I don't eat my friends." He's always so conscientious. How could he survive surrounded by such hatred?
I knew he was young. Hell, all of us are young, but we are taught as young Marines that it's necessary to kill quickly and permanently. It's kill or be killed. The only thing they forgot to teach us was how to survive an IED.
Dear God, what you boys must go through.
But don't you feel sorry for us, Matt. We're just doing our duty. Most I've spoken with would do it all over again in a minute. Called upon to do so.
What did you mean when you said earlier that you weren't so sure about Roger?
Something happened the day before Roger was killed. And that worried me a little bit. There had been a rocket attack on the local police headquarters, and our platoon was assigned the duty of locating the enemy insurgent. It was brutally hot, and there was a lot of sand blowing around, so I decided to rotate the squads on point in order to conserve energy. We were moving along pretty good. It was slow but steady. That wasn't until O'Hara's squad came on point. Then we just stopped. So I moved up to the front of the line to see what the problem was. When I arrived at the point, I overheard Roger bitching about the heat and the sand. He was grumbling something about it being too hot and him being too tired to go any further. And he didn't care who the lieutenant was. Surprised to see me standing there. But I told him if he was too tired to go any further, that I would relieve him myself. He didn't say another word. He just moved forward to the heat and the sand. We slowly started moving again, but I was worried about Roger. I wondered if he'd be okay under fire. Excuse me.
And when he was under fire, how did Roger handle it?
Let me tell you one thing, sir, about your son. He was a very brave Marine under fire.
So what happened? Did you find the insurgents?
We knew we were getting pretty close, and I was pretty concerned because everyone knew Fallujah had been infested by the terrorists. And I knew they were not going to give up this time because they'd been putting up such a terrible fight. We were going to have to flush them out of their hiding places. Everyone could sense there was going to be a lot of sand and steel flying around that morning. When that happened, someone was surely going to die. We were all terrified of dying. Those who said they weren't were liars. But as we moved up toward the insurgents' position, they opened fire on us. They must have been waiting. With all the ground fire and the heavy artillery, it was like someone had suddenly opened the gates of hell. The ground was shaking like an earthquake, and the smell of gunpowder was everywhere. And when the jets arrived, they dropped their hot empty canisters right on top of us. But I kept moving them in forward to where the fighting was the most intense. That's the funny thing about war. Your natural survival instinct tells you just to move as fast and far away from the dangers you possibly can. But your duty as an American Marine is to keep moving forward. We listened in silence to the screams. We could hear the radio reports of men being killed or wounded. Then the captain called me for help. There was an enemy gunner on the right side of a clearing picking off our men. And the captain and his men were pinned down and taking casualties. So I crawled forward to his position. I could see a group of bodies. They were ours. What happens next involves Roger. Should I go on?
Well, I find this to be most unpleasant, but go on.
I need to know.
We were never told exactly what had happened, only that Roger had been killed. I lost my brother, and I want to know how he died.
I had to holler over the noise for O'Hara to move his squad to the open area and see if he could locate the enemy and search his position. Roger was at his side, of course. That was the last time I saw the two of them alive, when they slowly disappeared into the opening of a courtyard. They hadn't been gone more than a few minutes when we heard that AK-47. The platoon sergeant screamed that we had a man down in the red. It's code for a man is dead. My head started spinning, trying to understand what he was saying. That someone had died? But who? I ran firing to the building. Bullets were singing by my head, but I just had to get to where I had a man down. That's when I heard that damned AK-47 again. Another man was down. It was Roger. May I use your restroom? Reliving these memories is more painful than I thought.
Seems to be so troubled. So much pain. You can tell he feels responsible for Roger's death, but I don't think there was anything he could do to change anything. At least Roger died with his friend, and that does give me some comfort.
Yes, it makes me feel a little better as well. He is carrying demons that I'm familiar with. You know, people, they don't think much about these boys that survive and have to live with all the painful memories. And that mess in Iraq sure does remind me of another place in time. And will we ever learn? These boys are going to be scarred for life.
I think every single soldier who goes to Iraq and Afghanistan may lose something. For one thing, their youth will disappear. You know, I'm a little ashamed of myself. I've been so angry about losing my brother that I never gave much thought to anyone else's pain. I hope he's all right.
My little boy. Dear God, how could you let this happen? How could you allow this to happen to my little boy?
You know, I've always felt so guilty about giving him my permission to join the Marines. And I've always tried to blame you for asking me to sign those papers. Now I realize it was was not your fault. Like Brandi said, it wasn't anyone's fault.
Please forgive me. I was worried about being you. I thought it might be too painful.
Are you all right? Do you want to go on?
Believe me when I tell you, by that time, my fear had turned to anger. I hate seeing the two of them lying on the floor, and I hate the men who had done this. But my platoon sergeant and I crawled forward to the bodies. We got so close, we could almost reach out and touch them. I whispered their names. There was no answer. They just lay perfectly still. But the enemy gunner had been hiding in the stairwell below, and opened fire. Bullets were tearing up the walls and ceiling around us, but after what seemed an eternity, we made it back into the next room, and threw grenades down near the two bodies. But by that time it was getting dark, and the captain had pulled us back into his defensive position. We had to leave Steve and Roger lying on the floor. Everyone despised the idea of leaving them there, but none of us slept. We just waited for daylight.
Well, you had to do what you had to do, I guess.
Are you sure they were dead? I mean, how can you tell that they were really dead?
I crawled to within arm's reach of them. I whispered their names. I could see O'Hara's eyes. Believe me, they were dead.
Thank God Roger's body came home at least.
As soon as it was light enough the next morning, we moved back into the building.